Welcome to the Chino Valley Update Podcast, brought to you by the Chino Valley Area Chamber of Commerce. And here's our host, President and CEO, Lorette Brashear.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorette Brashear, and I'm here today with Pastor Ronnie. Pastor Ronnie, how are you? And you're with the Flock Church.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm with the Flock Church here, and actually it's on the cusp of Prescott and Chino Valley across the street from the airport.
I have seen it. Tell me a little bit about this church. Is it one of the newer churches here?
Yes, I guess we got started, sort of informally about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And we moved around to a couple of different buildings in that time period. And for the last 9 months, we've been over here in our current location, which is the Prescott Vibes Event Center, down off the 89, across on the other side from the airport and the golf course over there.
And what makes your church so different from all the rest?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. We started this ministry in 2004 in Orange County, California. My wife, obviously, we were still living there. And as a musician and then coming to the Lord, it was sort of a natural progression for me to focus on music ministry, and so that's kind of the way the Flock Outreach, it was called the Flock Outreach in California, and we kind of changed the name to the Flock Church when we got here. And so it became a musical outreach, and it was really born out of a church split that we were attending a church in Irvine, California. We ended up with a 10-person Bible study, and we had a study every Saturday night, and we did a potluck. And believe it or not, that potluck and that 10-person study grew into a 1,000-person congregation every Saturday night. Still trying to pull off the potluck thing, because as the congregation grew, we tried to grow the potluck, but of course, we just couldn't pull it off anymore. So it became more, of a church service type, focused on music. And then when we got here, we took some time off, and we moved here to sort of semi-retire and get away from the rat race of Los Angeles and Orange County. And then the Lord put it on our hearts to resurrect the ministry. And so that's what we've done. And so right now we're about 40, 50 people congregation over here at Prescott Vibes.
That's fantastic. So you guys are a growing church and growing strong.
Yeah. Praise God. He's growing us, and our family's coming together, and we're actually, reaching out in the community. We had a successful campaign at Christmas time with the Paper Angels thing. That's how we got involved with Jimmy Wayne. That's how he ended up coming here to bless us with his testimony and his performance. And so he's a big part of the Paper Angels. In fact, he's made a movie called Paper Angels, a Christmas movie called Paper Angels. And so that's really where we solidified our vision for our church, which is to, reach out into the community and be more of a community-based church. Not saying that all churches aren't community-based.
Right.
But, everybody kind of has their own different vision. And so what we want to do is be a conduit for people that maybe would never go to church and are kind of, afraid of church in some ways. And I think that not only myself, but our whole worship team is a bunch of long-haired old hippies. So hopefully that image is inviting to those type of people.
Absolutely. It's definitely a different image. And it is warm and heartfelt, because you do get scared walking into a church. Sure. I'll tell you, it took me probably a few years before I could actually walk into the church. I just started meeting the pastor one-on-one. And finally, after being comfortable enough, I was able to walk in. Wow. But it's because you're just intimidated. You're not sure, is this right for me? Or if you walk in, I've been to several ones where you walk in and you've been over-greeted, and, I'm like, this is a little too much, or they single you out, or so, it isn't, great to know that, it'd be a warm, inviting place to come.
Right. Well, hopefully, we're balancing that of being unfriendly or unapproachable and then overly smothering you once you walk in. I totally know what you're talking about. I've been to so many different churches in my 20 years of ministry, but we're just trying to create an environment of family first, a family congregation, a family sort of orientation. And, they say that within the first 5 minutes of walking through the front door of a church, if this is a place you think you could plant your feet in, And so I think that's why the Lord has set up so many churches, not just in this area, but all over the world, where you have to find, and it's okay to go around, they sometimes they attach a negative connotation to it, right? And they call us church hoppers, but you got to hop around from church to church to find that one that works.
That one that works, right?
It's the same in the restaurant business, right? If you're looking for a restaurant, you try this one and you try that one, and then you find your favorites, right? And then you return to those because not only do they have great food, but you're known there and you're comfortable there. And I think the same thing is true with church. So it's, and then obviously it is up to the leadership of the church and the congregation to, and I tell our church all the time, I can't get to everybody. So we have to be, a welcoming church, and it's up to all of us to spot out the new people and approach them, and then don't oversmother them.
And don't oversmother. Right. Yes, absolutely. And I know that you said you have an event coming up.
Yeah, we have Jimmy Wayne is coming up, and we are actually getting ready to move to Prescott Valley. There is a new performing arts theater that's just being finished up that's attached. I don't know if you know this or not, but it's attached to the Findlay Toyota Center. And it's going to be a 165-seat, give or take a few seats, performing arts community theater. And so
fantastic.
Yeah, so it was time for us to sort of move on. God opened the door for that opportunity, and we walked through it. We met the people over there that are doing it all based on donations. The whole building and everything and all that's in it, the equipment, has been donated by different people.
Oh,
it's
that's amazing.
501c. So we really fell in love with each other when we met because, we're a small 501c and so are they at this point. So we kind of locked arms, and that's where we will be going, and we will be spending our first Sunday service on Easter Sunday in April. And then the following Sunday, Jimmy will be here to
fantastic.
give his testimony.
So for right now, where can people find you?
Right now, you can find us at 6200 North AZ 89, Highway 89, at Prescott Vibes Event Center.
Okay, and then later you're going to be moving Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday, we're going to be moving, I think it's 3235.
Prescott
I don't
Valley.
remember exactly, but it's off of Glassford Hill Road.
Gotcha.
And it's attached it's on the same property as the Findlay Toyota Center.
And for your upcoming concert, is it free to the public?
Yeah, it's free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's free, country
Jimmy's
singer.
been gracious enough because of, he was so impressed and with what we did with Paper Angels, he contacted us. Now, I've met Jimmy, about 18 years ago, I met him at a church in California. He doesn't remember it, obviously. I talked to him today, I was like, so, but he will be coming, and he's waived his performance fee. And
that's amazing.
So he was so impressed with our church, and it touched his heart. So he wanted to come here. He's going to be on tour around the Southwest area, Texas, Arizona. So he said, "Hey, if you can get me a place to stay in a car and a couple of meals, I'll come up and share at your church." So he's been an absolute huge blessing to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Great blessing. I'd like to take a moment and say, what do you think about this place? I mean, we're here at the grand opening of Southwest Homes. We're seeing one of their floor models for the first time, and we're on 1160 West Road 2 South. Just looking at it, does this even look like a modular home?
I drove right by it twice finding here. My navigation was kind of giving me problems, but I'm super impressed with it. I've been here 6 years now, so country life, especially when you get out, outside of Prescott a little bit more, is still something that I'm adapting to, which is funny because, when I pulled in, I parked my car on this side over here. And one of the gals, and I still didn't know if I was in the right place. Right? So I walk up here and I asked them, is this 1160, Southwest Homes? And they said, yeah. She said, can you move your car? And so I look around and I'm like, where? And so like out there. And I'm like, okay. I kind of laughed to myself because I'm still getting used to parking my car, which seems to me out in the middle of nowhere. Right? Yeah, so it's great. I think it's awesome what you guys.
And how do you like being here in Chino Valley?
Oh, I love it. I love it out here. Yeah. It was time for us to, something that my wife and I had talked about for a couple of decades, that, when we got on in years, that we would want to get out of the Southern, and I was born in Hollywood. I was raised in the LA Culver City area. But as I got older and the population grew in California, I thought it might be nice to spend my last years or twilight years in a small town,
Absolutely.
And we really didn't seek it out. It just kind of,
that's how it happens.
Yeah. And so we came here and we love it here. Yeah.
Yep. Any last words? Anything else you'd like anybody to know?
Well, I'd just like to say that our church, the Flock Church, is a place where every single person is welcome. It doesn't matter what your past has been. It doesn't matter what you've struggled with in your life. And it doesn't matter with what you're struggling with right now. You don't have to have a 3-piece suit and a perfect haircut to come to our church. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about other churches. I'm just saying that this is our church. We're a church of recovery. We're a church of outreach. And if you've never been to church before, or maybe you've been hurt by some churches along the way, I would say, come and give us a second chance. And I guarantee you that you will get free donuts and free coffee, and we won't overly smother you with love.
That's perfect. And what time are your church services?
10 a.m. every
10
Sunday.
10 a.m. every Sunday.
Yeah.
And so it's at the Prescott Vibes right now. And then on Easter Sunday, you'll be at the new location.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it was such a pleasure talking to you, Pastor
Thank
Ronnie.
you for having
I
me.
love it.
Such a
and
blessing.
We love having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.